How about some more hardcore truck pornography? I'm going to introduce you guys to my new technique of oiling some of these older frames. Smartest thing you're going to do. And I wanted to introduce you to my cheap little friend here. We'll talk about him in a minute. As you can see where the regulator's set, it's not quite spraying. That's the pressure in the line. That's not where it's spraying. About 5 or 6, between 5, 6, and 10, 12, depends on your compressor and your line size. Now I have 3/8 line on there. I don't have 1/2 inch line. So I take a little bit more pressure. I'm up to 25 pounds with mine. But if you have a 1/2 inch air line, this is one of the first guns, and I'll show you who it's made by here. I put my little knife in the box. It comes with 2 little hoses. This is the first gun I had. I had a German one before I left for Iraq, and I used it very little. I actually just used it on the trucks that we took in the mud and the equipment. You know, they didn't really put the salt, this brine stuff on the roads up until they do nowadays. But I think I paid about $35, $40 for that on eBay. I'm pretty sure it was eBay where I got it, or Amazon, one or the other. TCP Global. But I'm going to show you how this works. And as you can see how this ZR2 turned out with converting it back to a regular S10 without those goofy flares. Because I did order a set of flares, I think I told people that. And they were supposed to be a direct fit aftermarket part, and they did not fit. But watch how this sprays, how nice. I'm not even throttling the trigger. That is really something. So it sprays very nice, and it puts a little aeration in it, so it doesn't come out like a stream. It has a perfect aeration. I don't know how I had this sitting, but I don't want to dump the shit, because I know these cheap ones, that top will come right off of there. Although it is a cheap gimmicky type of product, it actually works very well. So this is how our ZR2 project turned out. I just dropped my gloves. I don't like handling that oily shit with my hands. And as you can see, I moved my cardboard and it still dripped a little. So you guys that are going to do this at home in your driveway or your mom's garage, so mom doesn't flip out and dad, or slip on oil and, you know, break their neck, put some cardboard down and then just burn it. But as you can see, that's going to drip a little. Now this is my driveway. I'm getting more stone next year, so I'm not too worried about what I'm doing. I'm going to pick up all this metal and crap. That's my next step. We got to vacuum out the customer's truck. I'm going to take it and wash it, and that's as far as we're going to go this year with it. Next year we're going to take this bed off because he is getting rotten. I don't know if you can see that in there. I should have my flashlight, but the bed rails, just like the Silverados, just like the older cousins and stuff to this truck, they're starting to get really rotten. The frame is in pretty much amazing shape, but it was getting there. As you can see, that oil, I don't know how well you guys can see. I really should use lights, but I'm not set up like that. I don't put a whole lot of forethought into some of these videos when I just want to exemplify something. And I want to endorse a product. I don't endorse much cheap Chinese shit, but the gun I had was made in Germany, and they were, back in the day, they were about $150. And that one had hoses and stuff with it. I really need to put rubber over those hoses. What happens is these hoses, they're cheap. They're prone to cracking. Now I have a hose and hydraulic shop that I work with. They're good people, and I think Neil would see my point and my need for actually converting that. I don't know where to go with this thing. It wants to walk right off the tailgate. And if that's the thing when they design this shit, really I should have a swivel in between here and the thing. The swivel would, and then I'd be able to put it down level. I might even glue an iron plate and have a magnet where I can have a mount. I glued on my old one, was even like that. It didn't have a whole lot of forethought, but you can make a plate and make one, you know, like a magnet. yeah, welded to a steel plate, and then you can set the damn thing down because this is aluminum. It's not metal, and the swivel makes it nice that you're, you know what I mean. And when you do want to put it down, the hose relaxes and it doesn't flop all over because it really doesn't have a lot of mass or weight to that. So I endorse cheap Chinese shit when it does work, and that's a product that is working. It is doing its job. And the ZR2, all I got to do is wash her off and deliver her back to the customer, clean the floor mats, and vacuum it. But this shit gets done first because we're burning daylight. I don't care if I do that in the morning. It's not leaving here anyway. And then I got to cut my grass one last time. It's getting to be 50 in the 50s up here in the Northeast. So I was glad I got this finished. I had a couple of really beautiful days from God's gift. So the best thing I always say about YouTube, in all sincerity, I don't like any communist toads editing my videos for me or not allowing me to post. I post pretty much factual stuff. I worked for the Department of Defense most of my life, off and on, you know, PMC. I like factuality, and cameras, pictures, cops lie, politicians lie, people lie, everybody lies. I think I try to stay within the gray line of here it is, here's the picture of it, here's the video. You know, it wasn't too many years ago, 5, 6, maybe 7 years ago, somebody accused me of pulling a gun on them here, and I don't need a gun. I can mind fuck somebody just with a power tool. They'll never be the same again. I don't really need a firearm. When I need a firearm, that's when there's more of them than there are of me. When there's a gang or something like that, that type of element, that's when a guy like me goes and gets a gun. Other than that, I have no need for it. So that's where I have this proof of YouTube. There you can see a product work. It worked very nice, and that's why there's a lot of videos on YouTube. I like them because I can see the product work. Now, what is the longevity of a product, a cheap product like that? You probably drop it once or tweak that can once, or yeah, if something gets against it, it's probably junk because it is made out of that much light metal. They could have put a little more thought into making that can a little bit heavier. The instrument itself isn't bad. It's what all the paint guns and stuff are made out of. But for $34, there's my cup. My cat gave that to me for my birthday 2 years ago. My thoughts are, you know, what do you want for $50? It's cheap Chinese gaga. Buy some tools instead of a bag of dope, that case of beer. Stave it off. Buy a tool. Because you can be amazed, you know, it might just save your vehicle. That's how my vehicles get to be 25, 30, 40 years old, and they look like the day they came off the showroom floor because I put a lot of time and effort into them. And like I said, I want to do it to my house very shortly. I'm taking legal action against this boob next door to me. Actually, both of them. I've had enough of it. I really had a belly full of shit here. Pace yourself when you do a job like this. I was rushing, and I ended up, I'm getting pain around my kidney area, which is not good. I don't know if I have a kidney stone or something else is going wrong, but I went to get in the truck. I felt it over the last couple of days coming on, and then I went to get in the truck today, and I really felt something. So I got to get to the doc and have him, you know, take my hood and put my hood up and get in there and find out what the hell's going on with me. Thanks for watching my videos. I'm sorry it's so short, but very much to say other than that was the ZR2. It turned out, it's painted, and you don't have to put them goofy fender flares back on it. With a little bit of ingenuity, okay? We say ingenuity around here because of idiots. They have no ingenuity. A couple of different ways you can pronounce ingenuity. We just say, you know, don't be an idiot. If you get your tail in a trap with one of these projects, sometimes it takes a lot of deep thinking, or it takes a lot more money than what you think. This guy's thinking he's going to, you know, he's balking on the bill, but I saved his truck. I'm hoping he has enough brain power to know he's got to bring it back because he needs a lot more work here. I'm going to give him a list. Okay, he needs emergency brake cables. He needs cab bushings. Okay, those are, he needs the fuel filler neck. The fuel filler neck does have a hole in it. It's not going to be long before that starts leaking. So, that's my video. you have a use for a guy like me, I'm in the Poconos of Pennsylvania. You can find me on YouTube. Hit me up if you need it, whatever you need. I can probably take care of it. Thanks, guys.